Da 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 da. Meal prep, or at least sweet potato prep. Never prep the meat. The meat needs to be fresh. Yeah. You know, human beings aren't supposed to live in tiny flats. It's unnatural. You know, it's the best choice many of us have, especially living by ourselves, you know, these days. But it's unnatural, right? Living in a small space. It doesn't matter if I don't use all the space. I feel like constricted. Feel like an animal in a cage. So I take every opportunity when my parents aren't home. I go to do whatever. You know, I have a kitchen. They don't have anything here that I don't have at home. It's just nicer to have some space. So take every chance I get to mooch of my parents in that way. Okay, let's go outside. Yo, Theo here. I'm laughing because I just walked past some parents having a hard time with their kids and their water guns. So heading to the beach now. That's why I'm not wearing a shirt this time. I guess it's not uncommon that I don't wear a shirt. I just hate all the people being in the way all over. And by hate, I don't have any hate left in me. So what I mean is I strongly dislike it. I would very much prefer to not having to take such a weird route. Like right now, I'm just going here. I'm doing this only to avoid the people. Okay, I just had my last real workout before I start cutting. The last push workout. Realized when I came to the gym that I came to the gym like plus or minus a minute at the same time I did exactly 1 week, 168 hours ago, and did the exact same workout, or I mean, you know, push workout, little different loads, some exercise variation, but you know, you get the point. Consistency above all. You don't have to be as serious about training as me, like 6 days a week. If you can do 2 weeks, 2 days a week, but you do it consistently, you will see results, as long as you don't completely screw up the way you work out or the way you eat. Yeah, but so to get to the point of the video, are you lonely or just alone? Because it's a thought that's been bugging me lately. Like, I just have the subject at hand. Sometimes I've kind of thought through in which order I'm going to talk about stuff, so bear with me if I lose track at some point. But yeah, when I started doing this whole transformation, you know, almost 2 years ago now, you know, I spent a lot of time by myself. You know, because I was studying, I just took a course to finish my journalism degree, and I could do any, like, whatever. I could choose a wide variety of subjects to study for 1 term just to finish. So I took political science, I guess it's called in English. And so it wasn't distant studying, but basically, you know, in practice it was for me. I was only there for the mandatory stuff, and it was fine. But so, you know, I didn't know any people in school. Most other people I know, you know, study somewhere else or they work during the day. So I just, you know, naturally spent a lot of time by myself. Started every day by taking a long walk, like a mile. A Swedish, like not an American mile, you know, 10 kilometers, whatever that is in your weird measurement system. Yeah, and I worked out and I read a lot and listened to podcasts and watched YouTube videos. And, you know, I still do that a lot. That's how I live a lot. And when, yeah, the thing is, I didn't think too much about it back then because I was just enjoying so much going from this. Just months before I started, you know, this awful panic attack situation in my life. So I was just enjoying it. I didn't care if I was mostly spending time with myself, you know. But so lately, because I've been working really, really hard on this bulk and this 2-year transformation, that's been my goal that I'm working towards lately. And so and I'm working still, you know, and stuff I won't go into, but just lots of personal life, boring stuff like a broken dishwasher and stuff. Lots of stuff. I didn't when now I'm telling you anyways. But when our whole apartment building was getting fiber internet thing, the only person it didn't work for was for me, and the support were just useless. And 1 month and 9 calls and 4 booked the technician, coming over times that they didn't show up. So lots of stuff going on, and when you're stressed, that's when the negativity in your head starts coming, because we as humans work like that. It's like how working out can make you feel better about stuff in your life that has nothing to do with physical stuff, movement. It's the same thing with stress. It can affect stuff that it can affect other stuff that isn't necessarily the reason you're stressed. So when on those days when I felt kind of stressed, not necessarily that I'm feeling bad, but that feeling of something hanging over you a bit. A thought that's been bugging me is, why do I want to be alone so much? And I've been asking myself, have I become more introverted, or is it just that now that I've changed, I just don't want to spend time with the people I used to, as much at least. And now thinking clearly, I've known it all that I've told you that in my video, that's something about when you have a bad day was the title. That I can always kind of conquer, not necessarily get in the good mood right away, but I can kind of conquer the thoughts by knowing that they are temporary. The way I feel and think is temporary and it'll pass. And so now, when I just thought about it, and I talked with someone, a really cool person, I think if you're watching, I think you know who you are, and I just thought a bit about it, and what I've realized is I haven't really become more introverted. I've always been a thinker. Sometimes I'm way in here, but it's just that, yeah, it actually is like that most people I wanted to spend time with back in the day, I just don't want to anymore, because they haven't changed. And you've probably heard that saying at some point, that when if you stop drinking, that your friends, even people you thought were your closest friends, you'll notice that you weren't really friends at all. You were just drinking buddies. And that's how it kind of is with such a big part of my life, with so many people I used to spend time with. I don't necessarily dislike them or anything. It's just that I prefer a lot of the time to be alone than with them. And to take an example here, yesterday I was walking to the beach to meet 2 buddies. To my knowledge, I was meeting 2 buddies, but they are in their lives where I was 2 years ago. Being on Tinder and trying to get intoxicated and getting laid is what it's all about. And I'm so over it. I'm not even. I'm not even just over it. I consider it bad behavior. Damaging behavior, both to yourself, and you're setting a bad example for the people you're around. So I both think it's bad behavior, and I really don't feel like doing stuff like that. So when I show up and they are with what I would describe as a gang of Tinder people, basically. No one. They met through Tinder, and that girl also knows that person that they knew from some party, blah blah blah, some kind of hangout like that. And I arrive and I see this, and I'm just, I wanted to leave as soon as I came there, because the conversations going on was different star signs and their sexual relations to each other, how they feel about each other sexually, because it's all about the sex, sleeping with random sluts and random douchebags. That's what it's all about, that's the good stuff. Many people think, and I used to too. That's the thing, I used to be like that, exactly like that. But I know now they won't ever listen to me, but I know that for me, when I was chasing that stuff, it was only because I felt like shit, and it was the only way I could make could imagine myself feeling better. you know, getting drunk obviously feels good, you know, relaxing, stuff becomes funnier and so. Getting laid, you feel like you're worth something. Yes, this girl actually found me attractive. You know, because yeah, and so many. That's I think the last few videos here before I start to cut is gonna be a little on this subject, like spiritual stuff. I would say, mindfulness, and just yeah, not necessarily just training and all that stuff. Yeah, but so I came there. And I just kind of meditated for the first half an hour. I said hello to everyone, you know, saying my name like 10 times, not listening, not even trying to remember all their names, because I know that as soon as I get the chance, I'm getting the hell out of here. And so yeah, I sat there and meditated kind of when I heard all these dumb discussions about star signs and stuff. And it felt really good though. It's kind of because I got not stressed, but you know, when you show up and it wasn't what I expected at all, and I just wanted to leave. I just kind of looked at, sat in the sun, very nice weather, looked at the sea, you know, moving around and glimmering or whatever, and just found some peace there. So when the bigger part of the gang went to take a bath, I left. I went to said I was going to take a bath with another buddy, but I did. I dove in. Probably put the clip at the end there. Nothing impressive, but you know, for fun. And then I just left. And I just talked to someone via text, and you know. That's the thing. I want to talk about the stuff I'm talking about right now. That's the things I find interesting, not star signs and their sexual relationships to each other. You know, I like to get to the real stuff, the heavy stuff, the deep stuff. But so the end point here is, you know, when I was in my fallen state before I came out of all of this. You know, there were different time periods in my life. Sometimes I was just sitting at home, really doing nothing, being depressed. Sometimes I was out chasing girls and getting drunk, being depressed. But I remember that during those times when I was at home alone, I felt like such a loser. Like, why doesn't anyone call me? Why doesn't anyone want to spend time with me? Blah, 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 blah. And that's the thing now. So when I get stressed, when I get my ego struggles, when you get stressed, that's when your ego, you start maybe identifying with your ego for a bit and stuff. And so I guess my ego feels like, can't people see how awesome I am? Why don't they want to spend time with me? Why are you alone all the time? You're such a cool guy, you should spend time with people. And you know, it's true, sometimes I do feel a little lonely. Because that's what's the title, right? Are you alone or just lonely? But for the most part, I'm just alone, because the thing is, I don't feel like I'm spending so much time alone because no one wants to spend time with me, that people just dislike me and I'm a weird guy, and people, yeah, you know, I feel lonely because there's no people like me in my life. No one with that, you know, that's into this stuff on the same level. You know, there are some people that work out. You can talk a little about the gym. Someone ate keto. You can talk a little about that. But yeah, you see my point. So that's the thing. And what I've noticed is when you go with this and you don't try, you know, people try talk about like maintaining relationships. If you're maintaining it just for the sake of maintaining it because it feels like you should for some reason, but you're not even enjoying spending time with these people, you don't miss them when you're not with them and stuff, then you're going to ask yourself, do you really have to spend time? Do you really have to hang out with someone? Like I think I said this in another video, you don't have it doesn't work like this, that like you have 5 friendship slots that just needs to be filled all the time with whoever, you know, that's close. I mean, and that brings me to my point. I'd rather be alone than with losers or people, degenerates. And you know, I don't even, it sounds like I'm looking down on these people. I mean, I don't. I've been there too. It's just that that's how I see the way they behave. I don't want to be a part of it. I never miss it. I'm not sad. I'm not a part of it, you know. So yes, for most of the time I'm just alone. But sometimes I get a little lonely because I wish, you know, I am a social guy. I like talking to people, but not just any people, right? But that's the cool thing. When you start going your own way and don't care, sorry if I'm a little all over the place here, but when you start going your own way and don't feel like you have to maintain your former relationships just because, you know, you'll notice that the people that you were supposed to be with, they will stick around. It's not going to be an effort to keep them around. And also, all those people you're letting go of, they're going to be replaced by other people. It's already happening. It could, you know, you just got to be patient. You just got to trust what you're doing. Yeah, yeah, That's all. That's all. I'm pretty happy with this video, I think. Perfect. It's starting to run out of space now, so yeah, I'm gonna go down to the beach alone. I actually talked, a friend just wrote me and said he was going there too with some girl, and I told him, you know, make sure that if you see me, pretend you don't know me. You know, it's great. I want to say it again. I'd rather be alone than with, you know, with just anyone, with just bad people. Now I'm not saying that my friends are bad people, but you know, bad people in the sense that I want to spend time with people that I want to spend time with, not just spend time with people just for the sake of spending time with people, if that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep going on this this subject. I say it now, so I can't weasel myself out of it. I'll talk about the sexual revolution and why it was a mistake, and yeah, you know, hookup culture, why it's crap, why it's damaging to everyone, why the guys that are looking to sleep, to get laid all the time, no matter if they do or don't, are the biggest beta males of all. I promise. All right, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you.